Hey everybody, it's Brittany with Divine Bloom and welcome back to my channel. So I have a question for you. It's a real question. I want you to think about it, all right? Do you struggle with making decisions? Honestly, do you? Well, no worries, you're not alone. And this could be the reason why. According to Psychology Today, we are faced with over 35,000 choices and decisions a day. That's a lot of choices, right? Now, some decisions are small, like am I going to cook chicken for dinner or roast beef for dinner? Or should I take the highway to work or maybe the back road? But then there are some decisions that we have to make that are completely life-changing, right? Like, do I take this job over here? Or do I go to that college? Do I start the business this year or wait a few years? There's some decisions that will completely change the trajectory of our life. And all of us experience circumstances where we need to hear from God and we need Him to lead us as to which decisions are best. But I'm so glad that we serve a God who actively wants to be involved in every decision that we make, no matter how big or how small the decision is. And I want you to know that God is on your side and that He will guide you. So today I want to share with you 3 things that you could do to make sure that you know you are making a godly decision. So stay tuned. All right, so today we're talking all about making a godly decision. So before I jump into it, let me explain what a godly decision is. So a godly decision is a choice or a decision that honors and pleases God. I don't know about you, but I want to honor God with all of my decisions, right? So if you struggle to make wise decisions and you have trouble knowing, what should I do in certain situations, I'm telling you, you want to stay tapped into this video. So the first thing that you want to do when making a godly decision is to ask God for wisdom, right? It sounds simple, but oftentimes, we go to this person, we go to that person, we go to Google, we go to everybody but God. But the number one thing that you need to do is to ask God for wisdom. James chapter 1, verses 5 and 6, it says that if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives it generously to all without reproach, and it'll be given to him. See, God promises us that if we come to Him and we seek Him for wisdom, He will give us all that we need. And I'm so glad that God can see beyond what we can see. God's already in your tomorrows. And wisdom, it allows you to make the best possible decision, no matter how hard the choice is, no matter how difficult the decision is. All right, so we see number 1, when we make a hard decision, a godly decision, we want to ask God for wisdom. Now, another thing that you need to do when making a godly decision, you have to examine your heart, okay? Ask yourself, is this decision that I'm making, is it in the will of God or is this my will? Psalm 139:23, it says, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. See, we really have to ask God to show us our true motives. And listen, this can be a very hard thing to do because we want what we want. We want it our way, and we prefer to make decisions that are in line with our preferences. But really, the best thing for us is always going to be God's will. So examine your heart before making any decision. Okay, so you're making a hard decision and you're thinking about it. So you're going to ask God for wisdom, number 1. Number 2, you're going to examine your heart. And then number 3, we have to calculate the cost. All right, count it up. Have you heard that before? Count up the cost. That simply means to plan ahead. You have to take inventory of everything that could happen, right? Every decision, it has a price tag. It may cost you your energy, your time, your money, and sometimes your reputation. In Luke chapter 14, verse 25 through 33, make sure you check it out. Jesus is encouraging His followers to really think about what it means to follow Him. And He says this, He says, if one of you is building a tower, don't you first sit down, figure out how much it's going to cost to see if you have enough money to finish up the job. And we have to take the same example. If we're going to make godly decisions that really honor God and pleases God, you have to sit down and count up the cost. All right, friends, let's do a quick recap. All right, if you're going to make a godly decision, godly choices, number 1, ask God for wisdom. He wants to help you. Number 2, examine your heart. And number 3, count up the cost. Listen, those are just 3. I know that there are are so many ways and so many things that you could do to help you make godly decisions. And I would love to hear what you do. So let me know in the comments below, and who knows, maybe I could do a part 2, all right? But if you're going to be Christ-like, it starts with making godly decisions. And one of the best ways to ensure that you're making godly decisions is to make sure that you stay rooted in God. And that's exactly what I need you to do. Continue to stay rooted in God. We'll talk again really, really soon. Peace.